Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something a lot of leaders feel, right? That pressure to be the hero, the one with all the answers. But what if being that hero is actually the biggest risk to your company? What if it's burning you out? And worse, wasting your team's amazing talent? Let's get into it.
All right, let me just ask you this, straight up. Are you the most expensive bottleneck in your company? I mean, really think about it. Look at your calendar, your inbox, that line of people waiting outside your door for your sign-off. If every single critical decision has to run through you, well, you might not just be the leader. You might be the single biggest slowdown in the whole operation. And we're here to figure out how to change that.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain on what we're calling the hero leader's trap. It's a role so many of us fall into, and look, it usually comes from a good place. You want to help, you want to solve problems, but as we're about to see, it's a trap, and it can seriously sabotage your entire organization.
So on one side, you've got the hero. This person is constantly reacting, just putting out fire after fire. And on the other side, you've got the architect. They're not fighting fires. They're designing systems so the fires never even start. Now, here's the really crucial part. The hero isn't a bad person. Not at all. They're just a symptom of a broken system. A system that, for whatever reason, rewards chaos instead of clarity. Okay, so let's talk about the real cost of all this chaos. Because it's not just about your personal stress levels or working late nights. No, this is a real, tangible financial drain on the company. The source material actually calls it a capital hemorrhage, which is pretty intense, right? Let's see what that means.
So to really get our heads around this financial leak, we need to talk about a concept from Japan called muda. It basically means waste, but think of it this way. Muda is any activity at all that eats up your resources, your time, your money, your people's talent, but creates zero value for your customer. It's like a silent leak, just draining your profits away day after day.
Now, there are 8 of these organizational wastes. You've got things like waiting for approvals, fixing defects, overproduction, all that stuff. But look at that last one, non-utilized talent. This right here is the most destructive of them all. It's what happens when you have these brilliant, capable people on your team, but the system, the hero system, forces them to just sit and wait for you. You're literally turning their talent into a wasted asset.
In this quote, this just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? If you can't translate waste into money, you're not managing a business, you're managing a charity of inefficiencies. Wow, it's such a powerful way to reframe it. Every single bottleneck, every delay, every moment of wasted talent, it all has a price tag, and you're paying for it.
So, okay, if the root problem is a design flaw that's costing us real money, how does an architect leader go about fixing it? Well, it all starts by completely rethinking what a salary is actually for. I mean, what are you really buying with that paycheck?
So check this out. On one side, you have the financial salary. That's the transaction, right? It buys you someone's time, their physical presence. But on the other, you've got the human salary. And this is what earns you their commitment, their creativity, their loyalty. Think about it. A pay raise feels great. For what? Maybe 3 months? But a strong human salary? That builds real, sustainable value for the long haul.
So, here's the crucial point, the thing to really take away. Your team's best performance, it isn't based on what you pay them. It's based on what you make them feel. It's earned by creating an environment where people feel safe, where they have autonomy, where things feel fair. High performance is an emotional outcome, a systemic outcome. It is not just a financial transaction.
And here's the absolute best part of this whole thing. Creating this powerful human salary doesn't require a bigger budget. You don't have to go ask for more money. The system is actually designed to fund itself. Sounds too good to be true, right? Let me show you how it works.
Okay, here's the playbook. Step 1. You hunt down and identify that operational waste, the muda, in your daily operations. Step 2. You quantify it. You put a real dollar amount on that leak. Step 3. You implement protocols, we'll talk about those in a sec, to plug the leak and eliminate the waste. And then step 4, you take a chunk of the money you just saved and reinvest it directly back into the team. It's this beautiful, virtuous cycle where more efficiency literally pays for more commitment.
So the main tool in your architect's toolkit here is something called a PNI, or a Protocol of Non-Intervention. Don't let the name scare you. It's just a simple, clear set of rules that empowers your team to make decisions safely on their own without needing your approval. A really good PNI basically says, hey, if conditions X and Y are met, you are fully authorized to do Z. This is how you literally design yourself out of being the bottleneck. All right, let's talk numbers because the ROI on this is, well, it's incredible. In this model, the savings you generate from getting rid of waste gets split. So, about 20% gets reinvested back into the team as part of that human salary. Maybe it's bonuses, better training, new tools, whatever they need. And the other 80%, that goes straight back to the business's bottom line. I mean, come on, it is a true win-win. Everybody benefits.
Okay, great. So you've built this new high-performance ecosystem. How do you manage it? Well, think about it. An architect doesn't just eyeball a wall and say, yeah, that feels straight. No, they use a level. They use tools. This dashboard, this is your level.
And the huge mental shift here is moving away from doing autopsies, those reports that tell you what went wrong last month when it's already too late. Instead, you're monitoring the real-time vital signs of your organization. This dashboard shows you what's happening right now, which lets you be proactive instead of constantly being reactive.
So this dashboard zeroes in on the 4 key areas an architect needs to watch. First, financials. You're tracking the cost of non-quality. That's the money you're losing to mistakes and rework. Second, your team. You're measuring the psychological safety score. How safe do people feel to speak up? Third, your processes. Here you track your own leader intervention rate. How often do you still have to jump in and solve a problem? And finally, growth, the knowledge multiplication index. And look, there's a direct connection here. As your intervention rate goes down, you'll see your team's autonomy and their knowledge go way up.
And this right here is where the magic really happens. When your team sees these numbers, when they really get that by reducing waste, they are directly funding their own human salary, their whole mindset shifts. They stop being just employees, they become efficiency partners. They start treating their part of the business like their own little micro-negocio, their own micro-business, because they have a direct stake in making it more efficient and more profitable.
So we end right back where we started, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. Look, the path of the hero, it's tempting, for sure. It feels good to be needed, but it leads to burnout for you and a whole lot of untapped potential on your team. The path of the architect, though, that leads to a self-sustaining, high-performance ecosystem. So the only real question left is, which path are you going to choose?